Good morning, boys and girls. Today the first story I'm going to read is The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. Crunch, 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 his feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out, like this. He walked with his toes pointing in, like that. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. Wonder what it is? It was a stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough, not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and he made snow angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber. He climbed up a great big, tall, heaping mountain of snow, and he slid all the way down again. He picked up a handful of snow, and another, and still another. He packed it round and firm and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And he thought and thought and thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked into his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there. He felt very sad. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone. The snow was still everywhere, and new snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. The end. It's nice to have big snowstorms. We haven't had that many this year, but maybe we will next year. So the next story I'm going to read is Where the Wild Things Are, and that's by Morris Sendak. Okay. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, he's chasing the dog with a fork. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And it grew until his ceiling was hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Until Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And they made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. There they are, marching and parading and jumping and roaring and swinging from the trees. They are having the best time. And there he is, Max the King, riding on one of the wild things' backs. Now stop, Max said, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max the King of all wild things was lonely, and he wanted to be somewhere where someone loved him best of all. And then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No. The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws, but Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And he sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. Okay, boys and girls, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you have a great day.